Be ready to change yourself. Be ready to challenge your better self. Know that your mind can develop a passionate winning spirit, but not by yourself. We guarantee your family in love with your life, and you're gonna love all the grind. Lewis and Bars together, we develop your mindset with vitamin C for your mind. Don't you settle with what you know. There's much to learn, there's much to earn. Tell yourself I'm ready to fight, ready to be heard. Out of success and awakening rise. There's so many words that turn into prices. Be ready to change for the best. Step up and be great. Don't be like the rest. Develop your mindset.
His name is Mathew, and he's gonna tell us his story and his gaming experiences and everything.
It's a way for us to connect through one game and just keep playing, enjoy ourselves. Just like with sports, you know, sports players have rivals. Video gamers have rivals too.
All right, hi everyone. We're back. We're doing another podcast with. We have a guest today. We're going to talk about a lot of gaming. This is what we're going to talk about. His name is Mathew, and he's going to talk and tell us his story, his side, and his gaming experiences and everything. So, and Louise is here with us again. Thank you, Louise.
Of course.
And this is Develop Your Mindset podcast. We're going to start. Thank you for being here, Mathew. Appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and we're gonna have fun. Talk about a bunch of questions.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
I promise you guys that.
Yeah. So I had a little bit of conversation, and I went and I saw the all these gaming background and everything, how it go rounds and knows, so I can have good idea what to ask and what to expect. And it was really something to see, right? So it was like more than I expected. There was a lot of people there. Everyone was having fun. Everyone was serious. Everyone just like very amazing community. And there was none of this disagreements or all those things that you kind of see when you go out clubbing and stuff. None of that. It was just really this was really nice, beautiful community. So we're gonna be talking about that, explaining a little bit. Matthew here is gonna give us the breakdown of how this thing works, what happens when you go to these gamings, right? Tournaments. So this was this tournament was last week. Me and Louise, we went and to experience. Previously, of course, Louise been there. I haven't. So I took my son there. He loved it. We went and experienced. It was 2GG Kongo Saga tournament.
2GG Kongo Saga.
Kongo Saga.
Yes.
Right. So it was really eye-opening for me to see how this tournaments run and how like organized they were and everything. We're gonna be talking about that. So I'm gonna start the first question with you, Mathew. I'm gonna ask you, what do you think about the gaming community?
Go ahead. So, what I think about the gaming community is, I think it's another way for people to gather together and connect through the same interest. Like, everywhere there's a community. Usually there'll be communities because you guys like, whether you guys like basketball or baseball or anything else in common. For this is for people who love video games and who share that similar interest. And the gaming community is something that's just growing as each year passes. It's just getting bigger and bigger. Like, even before, it was kind of underrated, but I feel like as it keeps growing, it gives people to realize like how big it is, more recognition, all of that. And the specific gaming community that I'm part of the most is for a video game called Super Smash Bros., which is a Nintendo fighting game. For those of you guys don't know, it's supposed to be like a party game, and a fighting game in a way where like you see a lot of the notable Nintendo video game characters like Mario or Donkey Kong or Link or Yoshi and so many other different characters now. Now you got characters like Mega Man and Ryu, Sonic, a bunch of them all together, just beating up each other, just kicking butt, just looking good. So
Yeah.
That's right.
what I think of it is basically, like it's a way for us to connect. Do one game and just keep playing, enjoy ourselves, show how much we love it, grow within the game, get better at it, make friends, tell others, all of this. It's just another community for people to come in and share, embrace what they love, and go further with it. Because of this, now there's tournaments for it. There's like so many other events where this game is featured, and not even just this. There's like other gaming communities out there that also does the same thing, and yeah, I just love it. It's something I've been part of for a long time. Well, actually, no, I've been, like a long time, and still part of it, and don't see myself
Nice.
separating from gaming and video games. It's good fun.
Cool, man.
Yeah, so I to me it was a really good experience also when I got there. It was a lot happening.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people there, a lot of competition, and a lot of seriousness. And I am a serious person, so
Yes.
for me it was very natural. Like I was in my zone, I did enjoy it. Those of you guys don't know about gaming tournaments, you should make an effort, go see one. This is like it's really fun. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next question. That was good analogy.
Actually, well, something I really wanted to point out was
Go ahead.
really the importance of having a community, because like that's something that's really, like, if you're someone who likes to do something, like I think it's a great idea that you actually seek out a community, like, because it's not something easy. I mean, especially like for me, I'm quite of a quiet guy, so like there was things that I liked, but I never really seeked the community. But once I did, you get that sense of belonging, that sense of like, there's people who understand you, and then you can kind of grow and learn from them as they can learn from you, and you can really grow to like levels that you can never imagine. You can't really grow like on your own, but when you seek a community, you just feel like that sense of belonging and like.
It helps you grow
Yeah,
more.
that's
like
right.
not only as a community member, but as a person. It can help develop your personality.
That's right.
It can like help you increase skills in certain things. It will show who you really are. So that's why like being part of a community really benefits. Like it benefited me because like the amount of connections I made, like some of my closest friends I met through the gaming community, and
Yes.
I still keep in touch with some of them, thankfully. And
Yep.
it also helped me as a person to get to where I am right now,
Yeah,
and just keep going from there.
That's right.
Just keep going.
yeah, awesome. All right. So my next question: at what age did you start falling in love with gaming? I wanna go to the beginning for you.
I remember when I was really young, I think I was like 3 or 4. My uncle had a PlayStation 1. He had a lot of PS1 games. From what I've seen, some of them included like Gran Turismo, DDR, Crash, Spyro, Final Fantasy, a bunch of them. I think the one that I remember playing the most, well, a little bit because I was like really young, was Final Fantasy 7. Final Fantasy 7 is a JRPG video game, role-playing game, where you go through a certain story and you're doing all these missions and you're playing as a character or multiple characters and you're growing them, leveling them up, making them stronger as they fight stronger bosses. A lot of that. And there's so many different kind of games like that too. And also the ironic part is the character from that video game, Final Fantasy VII, is also in Super Smash Brothers, and his name is Cloud. Yeah, like the game is that big to the point where they have added non-Nintendo characters in this video game, and who knows? I think they're probably gonna add more that we may or may not know of. So yeah, that's where I started, and then Super Smash Brothers, the first one, was another game I remember playing when it was on the Nintendo 64. I think I was like 5 when I played it. I just remember playing with my friends, having a lot of fun. The only difference was that I used to lose a lot. I wasn't that good because I never owned my own copy, and the only way I was able to play at the time was when I would go to my friend's house and play. And then eventually when I did own my copy, that's when I just played by myself, get better, and move on to the next titles, from like the one on GameCube and the one on the Wii U and forward. Now unfortunately I didn't own a GameCube and a Wii version either. I just also played that at a friend's house, but I just played it because it was fun, and I just like getting better at it. And then it wasn't until I believe the Wii U, that's when I finally owned my own copy. That's when I started getting better, and then that's where I started going out there and everything.
It's very competitive environment. When you sit in front of that screen, your mind takes over, and we hear this all the time, right? It helps a lot of the kids that do a lot of gaming. It helps them to be, what do you call that? Like to be calculating things faster, better.
Yes.
Like to have a structure, way of thinking. So yeah, it definitely helps. And if you are that kind of person, that's probably you're gonna enjoy it a little bit better or something, or it helps you to become better a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my son does that a lot, and I mean I let him do it, but sometimes he does over, and we need to.
Oh yeah, when you play too much. Yeah, so I've had that too, where like
him.
I would.
You have school tomorrow.
Yeah, I know that's like. Like I still remember like, not even Super Smash Bros. Like any other video game in general, when you love playing it so much, you play over the time limit when you're supposed to stop, because you have work the next morning or you have school. But you're just having so much fun. And you just keep playing it. It's just. It could be addicting, but like at the same time, as long as you're enjoying yourself. But also, you have to learn to control yourself to like know when to stop, when to play again. Learn the balance of like handling the amount of playtime you're putting into your gaming hours, and then everything else in general.
Balance is good in life.
Yeah.
Always like to do something. What you like to do is like you probably want to have more time to do that than other things. But then again, you have to have a balance. It's a really good thing.
Yeah.
My next question is almost like what we're talking here. Like, how was the experience of your growing up with gaming?
Oh.
Yeah.
With
so
that,
it
was
like.
I could say when I was younger. It was a struggle, but as I grew older, it kept getting somewhat better and better from what I see it. Because when I was younger, now I'll admit, like, my parents aren't the most comfortable with me playing video games.
Still,
even today.
Oh.
I mean, no, they're more tolerable about it now.
Right.
But back then, like, regarding the experience, like, I just kept playing it, and then sometimes, like, I would ask my parents if they could get it for me, and they do. But then as I grew older, I would try to find my own way to get it. Well, I would still ask my parents, and then eventually, it was when I started looking for jobs. That was my chance of like, okay, I'm working now. Now I gotta work hard and then make enough so I could get the games myself, so I can play them. So it was a struggle just from like just getting some of the games I want to play because of like money is one thing, another how much I'm gonna play it, and how I might go over the limit playing it, or to the point where I might mess up in school or maybe not go to work. Who knows? I say it was more of a school thing. Now I learned to balance that in between. But yeah, like it was, from what I remember, it was pretty tough when I was younger.
So What
now I
about-
can just get whatever.
What about your
Definitely.
friends that they're in gaming, or other people that they're in gaming? Like, do they go through this kind of challenge?
Yes,
They're,
they-
you know.
Yes, a lot of my friends like me when they were younger, they also went through the similar challenge. But then the difference was that my friends were actually able to get some of the video games that I wasn't able to get. And that was the reason why sometimes I would have to go to my friend's house to play it, or I would ask them, be like, "Hey, can I borrow this game so I could play it? And then once I'm done with it, I'll give it back to you."
Right.
Sometimes we wouldn't even swap games because
Right.
since we can't afford everything out there, the best thing to do is like swap games. Sometimes okay, I played this. Okay, I can lend it to you, and then you can play it. And then whenever my friend finishes, he can give it back to me, or I do the same thing for him, where
Yeah.
he gives me a game, and I just play that. And then once I'm done, then I'll
Yeah.
on to the next game, or just stick with whatever we love playing and just keep playing it.
Nice.
Games like, from what I remember, there was just quite too many. I just put too many hours into them.
Yeah.
If I can think of some titles I did that with, other than Super Smash Brothers, would have been like Pokemon, the Mario games,
Well,
Halo. There's more.
sometimes my phone would be like buzzing. I look at it. My son is, Dad, can I buy this game?
Yeah.
You know, like, can I order from the Google? And yeah, he gets a lot of games. And then for some reason, I see him playing that one game a lot. I'm like, what did you spend all this money for? Like, what is, you know, like, and he prefers this one game. Always he's playing that one. So, does it happen like that with you guys?
Yes, like
Interesting.
sometimes we would stick with playing with one game, and then and a lot of games have downloadable content, which you have to pay for to play more content within the game, and that can also be a struggle too, because like
That's right.
you already beat one part, but now you gotta do all of this, and some of it you gotta pay for it, and for a lot of younger people, it's a lot harder to, especially if they have parents who don't really play video games as much. Like even my parents, they're not really into video games as much, so they don't really understand too well. But when they see it, then they slowly understand it. But at the same time, like since they don't play it as much, it's kind of difficult to like handle that.
I used to be in, like, what you're saying, you just reminded me of, like, I used to be in some like gaming, and I like doing that, and I had a lot of time before, and I would do that a lot. But now I just don't. I've created this company where it needs my full attention, and giving that much attention throughout the day, when I get home, I'm done. And sometimes my son's like, "Dad, you want to play?" And I can't focus. I'm like burned out.
Yeah.
So, but I still do play with him, and but I did really enjoy the tournament. So that was, I'll probably do more, more
Yeah.
of that.
If you come,
Yeah.
they're really big. You come out tomorrow, you'll see.
It was a
how
lot
it
more
is.
fun. It was the, like the gaming place where everybody went. Like,
Where everyone gathers.
Yeah,
It's a community event.
yes,
It's a community thing where
Right.
everyone in the gaming community gathers to
Right.
be part of this big tournament.
right. It was
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
And and another thing was, what was it? Wait.
All right. So let me ask you about this. This is when did you get serious about gaming? This is the next level for you.
I've always wanted to compete in video game tournaments for a while. Back 7 to 8 years ago, when I used to play a lot of shooting games,
Yeah.
and I would do pretty good in them too. I actually would. To the point where in my head I'm like, I want to try competing in some of these shooting games. But the hard part of that was finding the right players and the right team to do it. And then later I kind of gave up on it. And a couple years later, that's when I decided I wanted to try Super Smash Brothers competitively. and this was 2014. It was that year when I just observed. I just started like observing, just like you guys. I would like go to some of these tournaments and just watch them compete, see how serious they are, and then even watch videos of like players competing. And then I didn't start actually competing until 2015 with Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. That's where I started, and I started competing from there, going to a lot of tournaments, get better, play more, so I can be good enough to like beat some of those competitors out there. Because believe me when I say this, it is really tough.
Yeah.
The competitions is really tough out there.
Yes. Well, now, I'm going to be asking you about that. It was very, very tough.
And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that's when it got really big, and it was actually tougher for me too. Like the last tournament. The last tournament I did last Saturday at 2GG Kongo Saga, yeah, I admit I didn't do too great. But other than that, before that, there were other tournaments I did participate in where I would win some and then lose some, and just go from there. And then, from that point, I realized how fun it was, even and how nerve-wracking it could be. Because like I'll admit it, when I'm actually playing in tournament, I do get nervous. Like sometimes my hands are shaking, but I try not to think about that, and I just focus and just play. I'm just very serious. I'm just getting in the zone because I want to win, and just keep going as much as I can until someone better that's really good takes me out.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so it's been almost 4 years now actually since I've been competing in Super Smash Bros. To the point where like I decided to try competing in other video games.
Yeah.
Like some other video games I actually have experience in tournaments were other fighting games, including Street Fighter, Tekken, Marvel vs. Capcom, and I've also done Tetris tournaments. Yes, that's right. There's Tetris tournaments, guys. I'm not kidding.
Is that right?
Well, Puyo Tetris and Tetris, both. And also music game tournaments too, actually. It's beginning this year. Mostly with DDR. I've actually been gaining some experience in some DDR tournaments too.
Yeah, I saw a video. We showed it.
I've seen this guy.
Basically, like
he's very good.
The more I compete, the more I like to branch out and try gaining experience in other video game tournaments too, because it helps me learn. It helps me learn how to play the game better, and help me get better at the game. Help me be better as a person, and just a lot of things that are mostly positive and beneficial.
Yeah, the gaming community is looks like it's pretty big.
Yes.
I'll be asking you maybe later for like how big it is, and like if this state is like the biggest or others.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
There are bigger ones.
Yeah. So I'm gonna move on up the line. When was your first gaming tournament?
My first video game tournament that I remember competing in was at a local game store near my house. They were hosting a Super Smash Bros. For Wii U tournament. It was a monthly tournament. They used to host back in 2015. Now they host every Thursdays, but they're taking a break right now. But they're gonna get back into it. Basically, it was at that game store where I just started competing, and then I thought to myself, after I won like maybe one set, after like doing the tournament with winning at least one set, I realized I could go somewhere with this. I could like go to more tournaments, get to know more people who like the same thing as I do. Because before, like, I used to be more just be inside by myself, just playing on my own, or maybe play with my friends just for fun, like casually. But then after playing it more competitively, I realized how far I can go with it. That's why like I was able to make connections with different kinds of people from different gaming communities, and I'm still doing that as much as I can, and to the point where I traveled out of state to compete before, specifically in Las Vegas.
That's pretty
which
cool.
I will discuss that in a little bit.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Northern California too, and just like everywhere else, whether it's California or just any other parts of the world. just go as much as I can, compete, play, have fun, and just get to know more people and just be part of the community and just keep growing from there.
Yep.
Nice.
Luis, anything?
No, I'm just very impressed with what I'm listening to right now, man.
Yeah.
This guy's a complete beast. He's a gaming beast.
I'm trying my best to, believe me. And it's hard, but I'm still putting in work.
But I can tell you're really pushing yourself, and
I do.
that's really what matters here, and that's what
I have-
everybody should take away from here.
Yes.
That
but-
he's
Yeah.
constantly pushing himself. It's not just about going to one tournament or two or three and then you're done. It's like consistently, going to tournaments. Even if you don't win, you still continue going anyway, and you still keep challenging yourself. And like you said about the community, that to me is like really, it's really important that you have a community that can support you and meet new people who are like-minded as well.
See, that's the thing. Like, winning and losing is one thing when you're competing or when you're in the community. But what's also important is just getting to know the people out there. Because who knows what's gonna happen to you? Maybe
right.
you'll sign with like really big organizations that are willing to give you a lot of money,
That's right.
so they can see you like play out there and do good. Or maybe you can do other things other than just competing, which I will also get to that in a little bit. There's a lot of things you can do.
Totally.
Like in any community.
Yeah.
Like networking, or
Exactly.
it's like
You're
networking within the gaming community.
It's another example of networking, yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Next question. Tell us about the gaming community. Like when I went to Kongo Saga, was what I saw. What I was standing there with Luis and I and my son, and while you were standing just a few feet from us, my son goes, "Dad, those guys are speaking in French."
Oh.
And some other people were talking in other languages or something. Then you came by. You said like those guys came from overseas to that game, right? So what can you tell us about the community, like in that perspective?
So, to explain that shows how big the gaming community is and how big a lot of these tournaments are. Some of these tournaments are so big, it will attract international audiences, competitors, all of that. Like you said, like there are people talking in French and Japan because they came from France, Japan. I think some came from Australia. Some other parts of Asia and Europe, Canada, all gathered here to be part of this big event.
Yeah.
To compete and connect, all of that.
Yep.
See, this shows how big it is, to the point where it attracts the whole globe. And a lot of big tournaments have a tendency to do that because for some of those competitors, they want to play and get the experience. Also, like, it's another reason for them to travel out of the country. So aside from just like, just touring around another country and traveling, you have your main reason, and that's because for the community, for the game, or for anything you love. You're basically doing what you love outside of your own territory. And because you want to show yourself, yeah, I'm from here, but I can still show you how good I am and how good my country could be, or wherever I'm from.
Yeah, it's not easy for anyone to travel outside their country to go, and like it's not easy to plan on it to like go, but like it's an amazing destination. You're going to this, to the gaming.
Yeah. Like even for me, like believe me when I say this, I really would love to go to Europe, Japan, anywhere. So I can also play out there too, and also meet the people out there.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing, like international connections too. Really beneficial.
Totally.
Like one of those people, like you mentioned your son talking to people in French. Like it's funny because I know one of the guys I know one of the guys from France who came here to compete. Like we're also like good friends. We talk here and there. Yeah, like he literally came out here for this, and because he loves doing it. Yeah. And he goes, I think he goes like other countries too. Who knows? Not just him, but just a lot of these competitors.
Yeah,
they're just traveling everywhere because it's their way of just being part of the community, just doing something, just doing what they love, and just keep going at it.
Yeah.
It's hard, but hey, it's fun.
Yeah, if you can afford it and you have the time, yeah.
See, that's the hard part,
It's
though.
fun.
The hard part of all that is affording the travels, the housing, just travel plans in general.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically combining your travel plans and what you're gonna do aside from competing and all that.
Totally. Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but hey, man, if you love doing it, just keep doing it.
Have you tried
Nice.
finding a sponsor?
Oh, I'll talk about that actually.
Let's ask you, what is your role in the gaming community?
See, I heard sponsors. That's funny because I'm actually part of a video game organization. It's called esports. Esports
Yes.
means electronic sports,
Yes.
which is basically a definition of people basically treating video game as a sport. Just like how I do it in Super Smash Brothers, or how there's so many other video games out there that people play competitively, play tournaments, play for and win money, and just do all of that. Other games like League of Legends or StarCraft, Overwatch, Hearthstone, even other fighting games like Tekken and Street Fighter. They all have competitions, and they're all called esports.
Yes.
And I'm also part of an esports organization called Dreamcatcher Gaming. We also host Super Smash Bros. Tournaments up in the valley, in San Fernando Valley, around Northridge. We first started when I first came in, they were hosting Super Smash Bros. For Wii U tournaments at CSUN. And then I approached them, like, hey, I want to try helping you guys run these tournaments. And they let me in, and I've been helping them since for almost 2 years. We went from helping at CSUN to running the Smash tournaments at another location called Worlds Collide. That's basically our location where we run the Super Smash Bros. Tournaments. We started from running it on Sundays for Smash for Wii U, and then eventually we moved it to Wednesdays, and then we had our own weekly going for I think almost 2 years now, called Worlds Collide Wednesday. But has it been 2 years? Like almost 2 years, more than a year for sure. It was Worlds Collide Wednesday. That's a weekly Super Smash Brothers tournament that I also help run and host. Like I'm what I like to say, a tournament organizer, because I'm one of the people helping organize the tournament.
Right.
So that so that we can get more people to come in, play in tournament, and just enjoy ourselves.
Nice.
Just another tournament
It's a completely different perspective when you get in organization side of things. Everything becomes so different. Now you have responsibilities, and people counting on you, and they want you to perform. And I've been involved in festival, and I know very well what it takes to create that festival. 5 days, 24 hours, and it's overwhelming. I've seen a lot of in the back doors, I've seen a lot of push and pull, all kinds of things. So it gets pretty hectic.
Yeah. It was really hectic when I was doing it, to the point where I wanted to take a break because how exhausted I was getting. And also balancing out like work and running these tournaments, and also competing too.
Yeah.
So like doing all of that, it was a lot of balancing. So I kind of wanted to just take a break a little bit.
Yeah.
But now I got back into it. Unfortunately, our last Worlds Collide Wednesday was last Wednesday for the year, and now we will be moving it to Thursdays. And this tournament, and it is still in Northridge. We're starting next year. We're going to be running these tournaments again on Thursdays. And aside from that, you mentioned Kongo Saga.
Yes.
I also helped at Kongo Saga too.
Yeah.
Like the whole running the tournament, making sure all these players are here, they're playing each other, calling out their names, like roll call, making sure they're playing, keeping score. I was also doing that at Kongo Saga too. And it's really fun. And I've actually done it in like other big tournaments aside from that, and continue to do it in other big tournaments. Because aside from competing, just TOing and helping the community is also pretty fun too.
Oh, totally. You get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it helped me grow leadership skills, somewhat.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
for sure. There's no doubt. I mean, everything you do, it's gonna leave a little bit of the mark, a little bit of the taste, the experience, and then other place you get to use all these things that you've learned before,
Right.
and totally.
That's why, like, competing is one thing, but TOing is another is another tough thing to do. Well, not just like helping the community in general, because you're the reason why this is happening, and you're helping it grow.
For sure.
You're contributing.
Yes.
Just like what I'm doing with Dreamcatcher Gaming, or what I was doing at 2GG Kongo Saga. Like, we were help contributing to make sure these tournaments run well, that people show up, and people enjoy it, and then we just keep going from there and just keep going, keep getting bigger.
So, since we're talking about helping tournaments, is there any like levels of helping the tournament? What I mean is like, maybe at first you wanna like really come in and help them on outside things, and eventually you probably get a different role in it. Does it work like that? Like,
Yeah,
or you just like choose to help them any spot?
it begins where, like, when it comes to like setting up a tournament, usually it's make sure that you have the game setups, and make sure that you're advertising too. You're promoting your tournament so that people can come and compete, and then just have a good turnout.
Yeah.
And believe me when I say this, like, even at Worlds Collide, yeah, we've had days where not a lot of people showed up. I mean, like, we have those on and off days. Like, when it gets really busy, it's really busy. When it's not, it's just it just goes by quicker. And aside from just running it, like, there's other things you have to do. Obviously, like, setting up the floor, like setting up the games. Also, like, handling the equipment, the manual labor. Also,
There was a lot of equipment there.
yeah, like, if you guys saw 2GG Kongo Saga, like, there was a lot of furniture, equipment, and games that they had to move around.
How many monitors there were?
I think like more than 50.
Yeah. It to me it looked like 150.
Yeah,
It was a lot.
it should be. You know what? At a tournament that big of a
There's, like,
scale, it
rows
should
of-
be at least 150. I don't know, like, if they have that much, that'd be really good, but I'm not sure. I counted it was at least more than 50.
There was a lot of it. It was.
Yeah, and the cool part about that was there was one room where you see the competitors, and there's another room where
Oh yeah.
they're practicing.
Yeah, there's a
preparing.
practice room. You
But they
guys
just
go
play.
there. Yeah, you get in there, you practice, and you play. And when your name comes up or time comes up, you're at it, going at it.
And I forgot to bring up another thing too, and that is streaming equipment. Basically,
Right. Of course,
streaming
cameras, and,
computers, all
Yeah.
of that, so you can record matches, so that they could be shown on the big screen. So
It's-
you guys saw the projectors?
Yeah, I saw the projectors. I remember you told me that it's live,
Yes,
like the global. Everyone's watching.
yes. We're streaming it live. It
Yeah.
was streamed on a site called Twitch.tv, which is basically the main streaming site for gaming right now. But I don't know. I feel like there's other gaming. It sounds like there's other streaming sites out there people are using. Like, I
Right.
know YouTube gaming is also big. Facebook gaming's coming up. There's like so many different sites, but usually Twitch has been like the main source for a lot of us. Like, even Dreamcatcher Gaming, we stream our tournaments on Twitch too. Also, like, if you guys want to check us out, yeah, it's twitch.tv/Dreamcatcher Gaming. That's where we stream. And then Kongo Saga was streamed under twitch.tv/2G Gaming. That's the name of the organization. That's where they were streaming all the matches so that people can watch it. And then once the tournament is done, then they upload it on YouTube so that viewers can see the matches again, or if they missed anything, then it's their chance to see it. And also benefits players too, if you guys don't realize it, because it gives the players a chance to watch themselves play the game.
It's been recorded.
Yes, it's recorded live, and
Yes.
it's usually kept in their Twitch site or uploaded on YouTube. And on the player's perspective, it gives them a chance to watch the videos because to see if they make any mistakes, and then they can learn from it and then get better. Like there's even videos.
You know
of
what
me,
he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
It's so big when you watch yourself. It's so big.
Yeah, like there's even videos
yeah.
of me playing, and sometimes I would have to go back and watch it because I want to know where I messed up, the mistakes I've been making, so I can learn not to do that again.
Right.
And just get better. It's another source for players to like grow too, because it's their way to know where they're messing up.
Of course,
Because
you can watch yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Mhm.
watching yourself is another way to get better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, we when me and Luis first started, I mean, sitting and watching myself taught me so much. It's like, yeah, that's the only way. Because nothing replaces that. You know,
No,
it's
it's
so
there.
big. Yeah.
And with all the technology we have now, it's like it's really hard to miss some of this. Maybe like some of the games that were not streamed, that's hard to miss. But like even the game itself, like there's ways where you can record yourself playing. Like you can have a buddy record for you, or
Yeah.
in Super Smash Brothers they have a thing where you can save the replay, meaning you can save your last match so that you can also see where you messed up. And yeah, just learn from it. Watch yourself, take notes,
Yeah.
and get better.
Yeah. So, how does the qualifying system and the match work in the gaming community? If you can elaborate a little bit the system. I mean, I was there, but I've asked you a few questions, but like when people they haven't been in that kind of tournament, if you can like a little bit explain how the system works, where you start from, where you go, and then to be able to like have a big match and all that.
So to do that,
The system.
if I want to talk about that, I'll probably be talking about fighting games the most, because that's the one I'm most experienced in,
Yeah.
especially in a 1v1 environment.
For sure.
So to qualify for that, there's really no some tournaments will have qualifications where like you have to be good enough, where you have to win certain tournaments to be invited to participate. But other tournaments in general, like even Kongo Saga, there's no qualification. You just gotta pay, you just gotta sign up, pay,
Yes.
register, and show up, and just start playing. And
Okay.
then just go from there.
Once you do that, you get to the tournament,
Yes.
and then how do you get guided, and how do you like what is the rules, or how do you start? At what point do you start playing, and how do you go through going to do a competition? How we saw like those two guys were
So the
sitting up there.
the basic rule is regarding, at least with like the fighting games that I've been familiar with, the basic rule is in earlier stages of the tournament, it is a best 2 out of 3 match, meaning whoever wins 2 games in the set moves on, and they just keep moving on until they lose to a player.
Yeah.
Now, in most tournaments nowadays, they have a double elimination format, meaning when you lose the first time, you get sent to a loser's bracket. So everyone starts out in the winner's bracket, and they keep going and they just keep going, and they just gotta keep winning. And then once you lose, that's when you get sent to the loser's bracket. It's fun, the loser's bracket, when you also have to keep winning, but if you lose again, that's when you're officially eliminated.
Yeah.
And
So, at the loser bracket side, if you win twice, what happens?
each tournament set is basically, that's what they call it. It's a set
Right.
of 2 of 3 matches.
I see.
If you win 2 matches, you move on. Even in the
Do
losers
you
bracket,
get to send back to the first bracket?
no, you just keep going up.
Even the loser side.
Yeah, from the loser side,
I see.
you get sent to a certain point of the losers bracket,
Mhm.
and then you have to play against another opponent who came from the earlier part of the losers bracket, who's
Yes.
been winning it over and over, and now
Yes.
he's ready to face the next person that got sent to the losers bracket. And then from there, it just keeps going, where the loser is done, but the winner just keeps going until when they lose, or until they get all the way to losers finals.
So those guys, when they were playing on the stage, the 2 different guys. So how where did I come from? Like one comes from the first bracket, other one comes the second.
Most of the people that were shown on the stream
Yeah.
are all from the winners bracket.
Winners.
Those are the players who reached far enough, who went really far in the winners bracket, to the point where like they're gonna start being shown on stream. Sometimes it can be shown on stream in the earlier stage too. It's really random. Now, the way that tournament was formatted, or big tournaments, is you have a pool.
Yes.
And then in the pool is you have the winners and losers bracket. The players who make it out will make it to like the round 2 pools for like top 128, top 96, 64, 48, 32, all that. And you can come from both the winners and the losers side. All you just gotta do is just keep winning and keep playing to get up there. And then finally you make top 8, which is like the end of the tournament. The end stage, the final stage. And even in top 8, you'll have 4 people on the winner's side, the winner semis. But you'll also have 4 people on the losers who came all the way from the loser's side. Which is like, they call it loser 7, but it really varies. But then once they go up a little further, then it's from like losers quarters, losers semifinals, and losers finals. While the winners, well, there's winners finals, winners semifinals, and then there's the winners finals. And then what happens there, to explain the winners finals first, after the person who gets sent to, who loses in winners finals, will have to play against the player from the losers bracket, who went all the way from winning from the losers quarters, semis, and losers finals. And those two play each other to play the last winner of the winners finals, which is called the grand finals. Basically, the player who came all the way from the winner's side versus the player who came all the way from the loser's side.
Wow.
And what happens there is, if the player from the winner's side wins, well, they win the tournament. And now here's the complicating part. If the player from the loser's side wins, they have to play another set. So grand finals will have 2 sets, where if the winner wins, it's over. If the player from the loser's side wins, then
He has to
one more the player from the winner's side has now been sent to the loser's bracket. So now they're both in the loser's bracket, and that's where you officially determine the winner. It's a really complicating thing to explain.
But it makes sense though.
Yes. It's a
Now
double
he
elimination
became
format.
a loser too.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's like
Yeah.
you start off as a winner, and then you keep going until you become the loser.
But you still.
But you could still be a winner
Yeah.
if you just continue winning from as a loser.
Yeah.
Or if you manage to send the last winner to the loser side.
So this 2GG Kongo Saga, it's been going on for 5 years. You were saying, has it ever happened that the loser won the tournament?
Oh yeah,
the
couple times. Actually,
That's
2GG
crazy.
has been around for a long time,
Yeah.
but when it comes to that Saga tournament series,
Right.
the first one didn't happen until I think like December 2015. I know because I was there, but I was only spectating. It was after that like I started competing in those tournaments, and so many other big tournaments out there that's been going on all over the world. Not just 2GG, but like
Yes.
so many other big tournaments. Like I was gonna bring that up now.
Yeah. Yeah.
What-
Yeah. I was just wondering if like how this thing works.
Yeah.
The loser can come and win the whole
They
tournament.
could,
You know?
and it has happened. It has happened a lot. Actually,
Yeah.
even in some of the 2GG Saga tournaments, it has happened before, from what I remember. Or just like other big tournaments in general. It's because once you're in the loser side, that's when everything's on the line for you. That's when you really gotta like
Oh
keep
yeah,
pushing yourself.
step it up, right?
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, it's really hard.
All right, so now we have a little bit of idea how this tournament works and the rules and whatever everyone does in there. Now my next question is gonna be, a lot of the parents, they have this stigma, this belief system where they think this gaming is not gonna get their kids or son or daughter anywhere, and so like because of that, I want to ask you, how can you explain the parent that this is a real community, like real things happening here?
I would show them I would show these parents like videos. See, this is why Twitch and YouTube exist, or why it's really important to make sure all these tournaments are being recorded, because it shows how big it is, how competitive it is. It also shows the parents why this exists, why people use gaming as a way to connect as another community. It shows the parents that there is a gaming community. Video games isn't something that you just play in your room by yourself and just have fun and just like not socialize or any other stereotypical things parents say. Like something like these tournaments will show that kids will go out there and make friends through a common interest. And they're also competing and they want to win too, and showing how greatly they could be in this game or any other game they play in general, whether it's Super Smash Brothers or Street Fighter, anything, League of Legends, whatever.
Yeah.
The parents, it just shows the parents that, yeah, like, this is real, guys. This is real. And people actually play for money out there. And they win, too. Some players make a living out of just playing video games. It's hard, but they do it.
Yeah.
Because they really practice and focus.
Yeah, when we were at the tournament, we were having a little bit of discussion, talking. You were explaining to me, telling me about this one guy. He's in his 40s, you said?
Oh, yes.
50s?
Sako.
That's something was, I mean, it's maybe not as shocking, but like looking at the average age of the tournament, that was pretty up there, you know,
Yes.
for someone keep on playing and doing what he was doing, and he became successful with it,
Yes.
and he made a lot of money
Yes.
doing it.
For those wondering, that
And he has he has 2 kids,
I'm not sure. I think maybe 3. I'm not sure.
something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's funny you mentioned that. That player's name is Sako. Sako is a professional Street Fighter player. And yes, he is around his 40s and he's still able to compete at his age. And even win too.
Yeah.
And aside from that, like, there's other good Street Fighter players out there. Like, there's one of the big names is like Daigo Umehara, who started at when he was like really young. Like, he's been competing since the 90s. He's like in his mid 30s and he's still doing it.
Yeah.
Some other people, there's Justin Wong, who's also been doing this. He's been winning fighting game tournaments since he was in high school. And some of the big ones he's been winning was called Evolution. Evo for sure. Evolution Championship Series. Evo is basically the Super Bowl of fighting games. It's where all the big fighting game titles are all played, where all the big competitors come in from all over the world. And that's where guys like Daigo Umehara, Justin Wong, Sako, or if I would even name some Super Smash Brothers players like Mewtwo King, Armada, Hungrybox, Mango, MK Leo, Zero. Those are some of the big names that compete in tournaments like Evo or other big video game tournaments out there too. And they win a lot of money playing it and make a career out of it if they can. And just keep growing from there.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
And this also shows that, like, Sako's in his 40s and Daigo's in his 30s. This shows that, like, age doesn't mean much. It really doesn't. Like, you can be old and still be playing and competing. That's one thing that parents need to understand. A lot of them don't. Is that, like, you could grow older and still play. A lot of parents think, oh, when you're older, you're gonna start growing out of video games. You're not gonna be able to play anymore because you might be too busy working. You're too busy with life and other things. Yes, that is true. But if you learn to balance that, you could still be doing this.
Totally.
Like, there are people in their 50s that still go to arcades.
I mean, I go.
Exactly.
I did play a lot, and I have my eye coordination is pretty good and sharp, and I enjoy playing it. And in short time, I can become pretty good at pretty much any game. You know, especially if I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So that helps. But like while you're telling the story, all these people, names, everything, I'm like remembering hearing a bunch of my cousins, my friends. I've heard them say this thing where, Yeah, so like my son is or daughter playing a lot of gaming, and I don't know I don't know how to stop them, and like they're basically are against it. You know, they're not able to understand to relate to what's really going on. Maybe because the kids are doing a little bit overdoing, you know, but then again, I think in their mind, they think this is not a real thing.
Yeah.
The kids shouldn't do that. But on the other hand, when I go see all these tournaments and you explain all these people, everything, it's whole another world out there, you know, and yeah. So like when it comes to your friends, and I'm sure they all have stories, and like I don't know if you can explain what they went through and where they are today in like, you know, a little bit short.
Yeah.
Maybe some parent out there watching this would help them to get the understand perspective.
Yeah. Okay. And before I say that, just saying like some of those big names I said, like I mentioned regarding Evo, Evo was in the tournament that all of them won, but it's like tournaments that they competed in and they went really far in. But they have won other big tournaments like Evo, maybe bigger or smaller something, but they all have experience in like this high level gaming. And regarding what you asked, like, wait, I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, my thing is like I want those parents out there to kind of understand that their kid is not crazy, their kid is not wasting time, and all these other kids like that you guys grew up and like you went through this also.
Yes.
And like for some parents out there watching this, what can they if they're not understanding how they should like look at this, so they understand.
They should see it as another source for kids to make friends, for kids to make friends with other kids who like the same thing they do, and then just grow and bond, and just go from there.
Yeah,
and then make more friends, and then it's like what we're talking about, being part of a community and just growing bigger and bigger. Like everything's like a lot of things starts off small, but then
totally
it's up to you to make more connections and make a community bigger and bigger. It's not an easy step, but it's fun doing it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy being part of this community and helping it grow. And some of these kids who play video games, yeah, they definitely can do it too.
Yeah.
It's all just being friends, you know? It's not just about playing by yourself and just being addicted. It's literally a connection source.
Yeah. I think those parents out there, they're more seeing the part where it's addictive.
Yeah.
Also, but if you like doing something, you want to do a lot. Like if you like doing sports, you're gonna do a lot so you can get really good at it.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it, right? It's you're developing your habit loop, and in the end, when you doing whatever sports or playing your games, you're gonna be doing by habit. You're not doing, oh, let me do left or right. Now you're doing by, you've done it so many times. You're doing the same thing over.
Exactly.
So that's the thing. That's what it takes to become really good at something that you're starting. So you have to do something. It's a repetition. You do a lot of it, and then you become really good at it, and that will help you to be better than the other person that hasn't done as much as you've done.
Like a rival.
Yeah, totally.
See, that's the thing. Like, really, just like with sports. Sports players have rivals. Video gamers have rivals too.
Totally.
Like, their goal is to be better than the other gamer. And then just keep challenging themselves and pushing themselves to get better.
Yeah.
That's why there's competitions. That's why there's all these events going on.
Yeah.
For people to showcase how good they are. To be like, yeah, I could do this too.
Yeah.
Like, it's sort of like a proving ground in a way, but that's what they're trying to do. Play, get better, and then just keep going.
Yeah. I just remember.
Have a rival.
Yeah, I just remember the Bruce Lee story, if you've heard of it. He had this one punch where he would take his opponents out with that one punch, and he had practiced 10,000 times just that one punch, you know. And pretty much when it comes to repetition, that's what it takes. You do something a lot until you get the best at it, and that's what it takes.
I think that's also something parents should understand, especially if their kids are playing video games a lot, and when they're also competing, is that some of those kids and some of those players out there, they're out there practicing for about 10 hours too. Just like Bruce Lee had to practice with those punches, or when those athletes or when basketball players are practicing their shots, or all of that. Even video games competitive gaming also requires practice. It's a sport, so of course you have to practice. When it comes to fighting games, like some of the things you have to do is you just gotta sit down, be in front of the game, have your controller in your hand, and just practice like certain combos, executions, timing, and all of that.
Yeah.
Like that also requires practice too. Like there are players out there that post videos on social media of like showcasing how much they practiced, and they showcase that in tournament. So like, it's just another thing you have to do. So like, it's not an addiction. It's another source of training, because how else are you gonna get better? Just watching is one thing, but like you won't actually get better at it until you experience it yourself. Like even for me, like when I play Smash, there are times when even I'm in my room just labbing out some combos, labbing out certain moves, finding out if there's anything else I could do.
Right.
Try something new, and then use that so I can use that as a way to get better, and use it in tournament, and then just do something unexpected and win. Also, like when I play, I'm actually known for doing a lot of unexpected things. So
that's that's not when it comes to executing something like really that you've been practicing a lot on, like sports or anything like that. You rather stick to your practice, which is your habit. As soon as you deviate from that, a lot of things can go wrong. It's not your familiar territory at that point.
Yeah.
And things are going fast at that moment. You have no time to correct yourself. But if you do something that you are familiar with, it's easy for you to continue doing the next and the next. You're very familiar with what you've learned.
That's why.
So that's the thing.
Yeah, that's why you need to like keep practicing, and you gotta not just play with yourself at home, but not just play by yourself at home, but you need to play against other people so that they can teach you and help you fix your mistakes. So that you can know where you're messing up, what you can fix, what you're lacking, and what your strength is, and just keep improving from there, and just push yourself to keep going until you just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Never give up. Just keep going. And you're gonna lose too, but hey, that's how you learn, man.
That's how you learn.
You lose to get better.
You have to be willing to lose.
Yes, like even some of the best players out there doesn't always win consistently. That they will lose some too, but that's their way to know where they messed up and then make sure it doesn't happen again. And even that is hard too.
It's a learning process, you know. You learn from winning as much as you learn from losing. Also, you know what not to do, or you're gonna know what to do more of it. So
and that's why like parents need to understand that like it's not an addiction. It's another way to practice to get better, especially especially for competitions.
Yes.
And they really need to understand that.
Yeah.
And hopefully they will.
So my next question: when I was at the tournament, I've experienced something that I have not seen that as much as that. How many people were there?
I think like more than 900.
More than 900 people. I mean, I've never experienced that many people. Maybe not all of them simultaneously, but like that many crowd, that many people, so focused, so like determined. And even though a lot of them weren't playing, but they were watching some game, and the like how can you explain this focus competitiveness is like so high? Do you practice for you, like, or if you know anyone, do they practice yoga, meditation, focus game or something to be able to like sustain that longevity of focus?
That level of focus. So I'll speak from a spectator's perspective. And a spectator's perspective, it's like watching a sport. It's like watching baseball or basketball. You're focused on watching the sport because you want to see what these players are doing, whether they're going to do something good, they're going to do something bad. You're focused on watching it so you can learn. It's like that with games too. Spectators are there to watch these competitors play, learn how they play, learn how serious they are, and just watch seriously, analyze it, see what they're doing, and then see if they can learn from that. And for players too, like, they're also watching too, so that they can learn what they can do when they play. And from a player's perspective, now they're the ones playing and competing. So obviously, they're just going to be straight focused on the screen. They're just in the zone. That's the only thing they're thinking of, just playing the game and trying to win. And now, regarding how to prepare for that, there's a lot of different things. Like, there are some people who do. I haven't met anyone who's done it, but yes, I'm aware that there may be some players who may do yoga or meditate to learn to calm their bodies, because sometimes when we compete, we get really nervous, because that's when our lives are on the line.
Yeah.
It's like I said earlier, like when I'm playing, my hands are shaking because how nervous I am, because I'm competing and all these people are watching, and if I lose, it won't be a good feeling. If I win, it's like an amazing feeling. And to practice that, like, what I do is, for me, I usually try to just stay calm, relax, maybe listen to some calm music to calm my mind, calm my body, so I can prepare myself and try not to get too nervous. Sometimes I take a nap so that I'll have the energy to play and have the stamina to just keep going.
Yeah.
Along with like eating a banana or getting some snack to have some food in the system.
So, you're saying that your hands are shaking when you're nervous. You know, when you're nervous, your body creates more of this. What was the name of that hike? What was the name of that hormone that your body produces when you're nervous? Cortisol. So your body creates this cortisol, and that is not really good thing to have in your system. When you're nervous, that's what happens.
Yes.
And that's why your hands shake and you become fuzzy. And
yes.
So if you can control your anger, not anger, but like your your focus, the emotions of that's when if you can make yourself produce some dopamine or serotonin or some kind of kind of thing, that would be very beneficial, because those are your happy mood, and you're the most focused at those levels, and that's what it does basically when you do yoga, meditation, all these kind of practices. You learn how to make that part of your system go, and but I really enjoyed, like, throughout the week when I'm working, I'm imagining those like faces. Everyone's just like so
They're
serious.
really serious.
I really enjoyed that part.
It's because they're really they're just, it's their competition mode.
Yeah.
Because that's when they're playing, and that's when they're trying to win and go further. That's when you're literally a different person now.
Yeah. So my next question is going to be something about fun. What happens? What are the fun things that happens in the tournament?
Some of the fun things is like watching other players play and just seeing them do all these sick moves within the game, all these amazing combos, or just all these executions. or just the gameplay itself, but being played at a higher level that not a lot of people are able to. And just watching that is fun, and also being part of the hype, part of the crowd that's cheering and like rooting for the players. It's like watching a sport basically. You're basically watching and playing a sport because you're watching all the highlights that are happening, and the players are making the highlights so that because it's cool, and also they want to get recognition. They're trying to be flashy and they're trying to style.
Yeah.
Look good for the camera, all that. I mean, I did that too, so.
Yeah. So what was fun for you when you went to tournament, like outsider?
Along with like meeting people and all that. That's fun too.
Well, to me, I guess the funnest thing for me was the community itself. That it just I just like that sense of like that everybody just kind of they're just kind of in that community where they all understand each other and they're all like friends and everything, and that to me is like that was like the funnest thing to me about that, because I personally don't play a lot of video games. I mean, I used to play. I guess I played a few when I was younger, but I guess I gave up too early.
You're never too late.
I was one of those that I was just like every time I would play a game, I would always be like, all right, what's the easy level, man? I'm like easy mode, please. If the game didn't even have an easy mode, I would probably not play that game. And or I would go on the internet and there's these things called cheat codes.
That's
I know what that's like.
I would either do the cheat codes, or then there's like this like.
That's what my son does.
Or like there's a few consoles where you can save your progress of the game onto a memory card. So what I would do is that I would take their memory card, since like my friends were better than me. I would take their progress and then be like, I can't pass this level, man. Did you pass it? All right. I would take their card and then I would play like whatever was beyond that level, so I would skip it. Anyway, so every time I would be finding a workaround the games, but
it's fun.
Anything I could do, or sometimes I even got to the point where I would start getting to the code of the game and try to start like if I can get rid of certain things, in the game. So like,
oh my god!
Or I would add things. I would try to find glitches in the game too.
Oh my god!
So I could anything possible to make the game easier, so I wouldn't have to struggle. Because I just got too attached to. To winning. That I didn't want to lose. Like every time I lost, I get frustrated and I'd be like, "Fuck this game."
Hey, I know what it's like. Hey man, I know what it's like to lose. It's not a good feeling, but it's a way to get better, and you just gotta keep pushing yourself until you win, or until you reach a certain point, or when you're just done with the main story. And yes, cheating to win is actually a thing, but don't do that.
That's right.
Don't do that.
Pro cheating.
Especially in gaming competitions, high level competitions, you do not want to do that, because if you do, and the organizers catch that, or any of the staff, you'll be dealing with a lot of consequences, to the point where you'll be banned from competing, or any other punishment. Like, I know we've been talking about a lot of really good things in the community, but just like any other community, there are a lot of bad things too. And you just got like drama, toxicity, and all that.
That's where the organization comes in. If they're good organizers, they will bring the level up, of course. The stakes and level. Yeah. It
will be the organizers and the staff's job to make sure this doesn't happen, and that's why some players actually got banned too. Like I hate to say it, but there are actually some competitors that have been banned, not for cheating, but for doing anything bad in general, whether it's sexual harassment, violations, stealing, all of that. That has happened before, and you gotta watch out for that. Like, even in the gaming community, it's really big, but there are some bad people out there, and you do have to watch out for it. Also, let the organizers know, so we just be like, hey, you're not allowed here again. Just ban them.
Yeah.
Because we want a positive environment.
Oh, totally. That's the only way you can thrive and become bigger and better.
Yeah.
Totally.
You mentioned cheating.
I remember.
It's okay. I've done that. You know what? I'll admit it. Like I've actually used some cheats to play I've actually used some cheats when I play Pokemon. And I have used cheat codes when I played other video games because
my son
it's pretty fun to do that.
He'll have his headphone talking to his friends, and like on the side he's like his tablet looking just YouTube, watching YouTube. I just learned you do this, you know, like they're like, hey.
And technically, looking on YouTube to watch those gameplay videos isn't really cheating because hey, if you just want to beat it, I get it.
Oh, I've done that too. Yeah. I'll go and
just don't do it in competition.
I need to copy this guy.
Just when you're playing in tournament, you don't cheat.
He knows secret. You press this while he doesn't that. Whatever.
That's right.
Just like,
yeah, let's just stick. When it comes to that, let's just stick with that with only one-player games where you're only playing by yourself, and the only thing getting in the way is you not beating it. Let's just stick with that because if this involves other people, things can happen, and it's not that good.
All right, I'm gonna ask you this. Since we know that there's organization, there is community, all these bad things are getting filtered out.
Yeah.
And they're keeping it safe and nice and clean environment. And there are a lot of parents out there, they're like wondering what kind of future does my son, daughter have in this community.
If he wants to compete, then he has all the opportunity to do it. There's so many different tournaments out there. Not even just 2GG Kongo Saga. Not even a big one, but like there's a lot of smaller tournaments too. At least for what I've seen regarding Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, there's a lot of small tournaments that happen almost every day. And for your son, if he wants to check it out, maybe compete in it, I would say try to check out some of those smaller tournaments.
Right.
Because it's a way for them to get better. You know, just keep coming every week, play against other people, push yourself. And then once the big tournament comes, that's when you can officially showcase all the things you've learned that you've developed into what you did in the smaller tournaments. That's why, like, even when I run, even at World Skull Wednesday, like sometimes I will see the same faces over and over because they're coming in because they want to play, they're competing, they want to get better, they just want to have fun, or they just want to hang out with friends. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things you can do. Just competing.
So,
and I recommend checking out those smaller tournaments because, like, hey, that's how it begins. Some players start at a small tournament and just keep going from there.
So overall, we not only overall, but like in general, all these tournaments are very safe environments and very controlled. Like there's no bullying, there's no craziness. I mean, because I want to put this thing out there for parents where they have concerns about their son and daughter's future, if they get into this kind of environment. Yeah,
and it is true, those kind of environments do exist, but like it will be the parents' job to make sure that the child are careful about it. Maybe talk to the organizers, being like, hey, this is happening, like, can you fix this? And then the organizers will be aware and then make sure to clean up that mess and try not to let it spread.
Totally.
And it's really hard too because Smash is a really big community too. It's a worldwide game. It's a worldwide video game community, and believe me when I say it, there's a lot of toxicity and bad environment too. But like, I try not to think of it too much and just do what I'm doing. Just play, compete, and obviously, like just like any sports athletes, yes, you're gonna have a lot of followers, fans, and supporters, but you're gonna have a lot of haters too. But what do you do with that? Don't worry about it. Don't let it get to you.
That's everything is like that.
Everything's
the sign
exactly.
yin and yang, right?
Yes.
One is the full white, there is a one black dot.
White
one
and
is black and there's a white dot. There's always that one black in the whole white, or in the whole white there's the black.
Yes.
And like everywhere it's the same.
Yeah.
It's that true.
And I think kids should watch out for those kind of toxicity and bad environments. Like, if it's too uncomfortable for them, then I would recommend them to like talk to the organizers or talk to like a certain player. It's a community, so of course you have to find someone that you can talk about this with, and like make some friends. talk about it with them,
Right.
and see if it's too much for the organizers, because of how big it is. It's really hard to. It's basically like me trying to control 500 people from doing all this crazy stuff. It's really hard. I mean, you say you run festivals too with like a big crowd.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be some shit going down. So
a lot of things happen.
yeah.
But
So
when you have securities, when you have organizers, when you have groups and everyone, a team where they're running these festivals, not a lot can happen before they find out and come and shut it down.
yeah,
you know,
things
pretty
can
much.
happen. So
Yeah.
it's all about just watching out.
Yeah.
And for kids to like just watch out for that, and
Yeah.
if it's too hard for them, maybe you can do something about it in the future. Like learn from what you've observed, and then do something about it when you grow older.
So I would say, if any parent out there watching this and they have any maybe like questions, you know, like anything like that, maybe they can leave comment and
Yes.
down below, you know, like we can come back and make another video about that or something, you know. And since this is you know, concerns are real thing for
Yeah, there is big concerns.
families, you know, we can totally do that. So if you guys have any questions, anything like that, please leave comments down below, and we'll look at it and talk about that. Yeah. So one of my before the last question, since we talked about everything about community, about gaming, from this point on to looking to the future, this point and the future, right? What do you want to achieve being in this community?
What I want to achieve, well, one thing for sure, I want to keep getting better. Try to get better as much as I can, to hopefully be able to compete in the big stage.
Yeah.
Because like,
Yeah.
I hope you guys watch Evo, because
Uh-huh.
Evo is like the Super Bowl of fighting games. And the last one is played. It's usually played in a sports arena. The recent ones was actually held at the Mandalay Bay Sports Arena. That's where like the top 8 competitors for most of the fighting games all gathered, like came in and then played out through their final matches. Not all the games, but at least like a good 5. Super Smash Bros has been usually common.
So sorry to cut you, but when you say Mandalay Bay, that means over 21?
Well, yeah, that Mandalay Bay event, yeah, the Las Vegas hotel.
Yes.
The convention center is not 21 plus. Or
I see.
The sports
Convention
arena,
center.
I don't think that's 21 plus either, because I seen some kids out there watching these games too. Because video games it's a family friendly thing. Like kids play it, adults play it, everybody plays it. I mean, they have events that's 21 plus, but Evo, usually there are moments when it's 21 plus, but usually it shouldn't be. I mean,
Okay.
like I said, like there are people who want Evo when they were like 15. Like there are 15,
Okay.
like Sonic Fox he's a really good Mortal Kombat Dragon Ball FighterZ player, or Injustice. He's been winning those big Evo tournaments since he was like 16, 17, and now he's like 20 and he's still winning. So 21 plus doesn't really matter. But yeah, like basically try to go, just go as much as I can. Just keep playing. Just connect with more people as always. Not just from like here, maybe overseas. Maybe it'd be nice to like meet some overseas competitors too. Be friends with them, and also like continue to do what I'm doing as a tournament organizer, or just as a pool captain. Well, that's what they're called too. Pool captains are like the ones that are running the pools, the tournaments, to make sure these players are playing and are making it out. Just continue doing a lot of things as usual, like playing and helping and just running tournaments. And
Nice.
just keep doing it. I love doing it, so just can't stop. If anything, like the next big Smash tournament coming out is.
What do you see in your future?
Oh, sorry. What do I see? Just continuing to do what I'm doing, and then.
Perhaps starting your own event?
Well, technically, we already have our own event going, and that's we're gonna return to doing that on Thursday. Just keep running it, keep advertising it, and hopefully more people can show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Do
we'll
you
have
wanna
good turnouts.
Do you want to plug in your tournament?
I mean, I'll post links. If anything,
yeah,
I'll post links about it.
just send the links to Luis and he'll
So
totally.
as I said earlier, if the tournaments that I'm part of is the organization is Dreamcatcher Gaming, and it's twitch.tv/Dreamcatcher Gaming. That's where we stream our Smash tournaments. We've been doing this on Wednesdays, but once January hits up, we'll be doing this every Thursday. So hopefully you guys will be watching. And,
Awesome.
and hopefully coming out too. We're in Northridge at the Worlds Collide Esports Lounge.
Cool.
That's where we host every Thursdays. So yeah, just keep doing that and just travel as much as I can too.
Travel is fun.
Yes.
You've told me, before I ask the last question, I remember you told me you traveled to Seattle and Vegas. Those must be fun.
Yeah.
Going and meeting the communities over there.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, playing Evo was definitely a big one. I feel like that's where I did really good.
Yeah.
Now, I guess my apologies if I'm going a little too much. 2 years ago at Evo 2017, I remember I actually had to play one of those really high-level professional players in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, and I remember I did something really stupid, but then it worked. I misinputted an attack, a really strong slow attack, and it was powerful enough to kill the opponent. And then we went game 3. It's in the 2 out of 3. I actually was able to take a game off of him. Now, unfortunately, there's no video for that because it wasn't streamed. Dang it. If anything, the most funniest part about this was the guy I played was the Evo 2016 champion. And I had to play him in 2017.
Wow.
We were supposed to be on stream, but nope, they decided not to put us. I don't know why.
Oh.
But the fact that I did that, and I still think about it today, I'm like, man, if only I could play like that. If only I could play like that often.
Maybe you should practice.
Actually, I do.
That kind of
I still do it to people. I call it...
It's a fake expectation and it doesn't happen.
It's like basically you're misinputting a move, but it still works. I call it the count chief.
The count?
The count chief. Oh, it's because my video game player tag is count chief, COUNT chief. It's the gamer tag that I go by when I'm competing out there. So a lot of the people who watch me play, they will know me as count chief, or they'll just know me as Matt because I introduced him as my real name. And the term the count chief comes from the fact that I have actually beaten people or taken games off people by misinputting a strong move and getting it. And I still do that today.
Awesome.
Hopefully I can continue doing that.
Do you have anything to ask through all these questions? Anything stands out? Because I'm going to be asking the last question.
Oh, man.
I think
Anything
I heard it all, man.
All right. Yeah. So...
Give me a cheat code to this game.
Hey, you know what? I am the cheat code.
Oh, he's the cheat code.
See, I don't use people's cheat codes. I just somehow make my own with my mind. The cheat code is you do something. You know what? Screw it. The count chief is the cheat code. Just misinput a move and hope that it works. And who knows? You could like beat people doing that. I've done it. I've seen other people do it. It works. Okay? So the true cheat code is your head. Make it work.
All right.
Just don't actually use like the program part. Yeah. Sorry.
Awesome. So we're in the end of the podcast. We learned a lot. This is really amazing information. So my last question is going to be, because the podcast is develop your mindset. Mm-hmm. How do you develop your mindset?
The way I develop my mindset, where it helps me focus. It's a way. So these competitions, it's a way for you to improve your focus and improves your concentration. So that like not even in this, but it'll help you. You can use the amount of focus and concentration you learn from one thing and apply it to others, whether it's at work or at school or anything. And then when it comes to other things like regarding being nervous, I would say use whatever you learn. So like I use whatever I learn from like competing and helping in the gaming community to focus on other things too. So like when I'm at work or when I'm playing like DDR for example, or some other games, or when I'm talking with people, I try to stay on one topic. Well, I try to, but sometimes I lack that. But anyway, just like improve my focus and just keep improving. And just like focus on your concentration, also like focus on your nervousness, how the mind works, because this can be really draining in the mental aspect.
Yeah.
Basically, competitive gaming is mentally draining. You get more tired mentally, but you can use that to improve your stamina, so that you can push yourself, and then eventually, whatever that looks really tiring just won't look that tiring anymore. It's like when you're playing a sport. Like before you actually play, you have to condition yourself. You have to run a lot. You have to jump a lot. You have to do a lot of exercises. And I feel like to improve, I feel like another thing that would help a lot is find ways to exercise your mind and your focus. Try doing other things so that it can help you with whatever you want to do that requires that high level of concentration. Because and then even if it gets mentally tiring, it won't look as tiring anymore because you're used to it, and you condition yourself to get to where you're at and just keep going. And that's how I see it as. It's a way for me to condition myself mentally so that I won't be as tired as much when I continue playing more in the future or do any other things.
Cool. Do you want anyone to like how people can find you? If you could maybe leave your Instagram or something.
My Instagram is Mathew_x6. That's my Instagram. A lot of gamers actually use Twitter.
Okay.
The gaming community use Twitter more often. That's like their way to like connect with other gamers out there online.
All right.
It's a main social media source for gaming, from what I've noticed.
Do you have Twitter?
Yes, I actually use Twitter. My Twitter handle is my gamertag count chief. So that's my Twitter handle, and my Instagram is Mathew_x6. Also, Dreamc Gaming, that's our Twitter page. If you guys want to follow us on there, and then we'll try our best to post updates on whatever events we're doing that's coming up. And we also have an Instagram page, Dreamcatcher Gaming, Dreamcatcher Gaming Official. I'll post all the links so that you guys can like follow us, check us out, and see what we do. And also, we also have our own YouTube channel where we try our best to post all the videos of all the tournaments that we've done in the past.
Very nice.
Yes.
So,
and a Facebook and all that.
Awesome. This has been really amazing. I've learned a lot. And I always enjoy learning, and I hope you guys had fun too. Learn from everything that we've been talking about, all these tournaments and community, everything. If you guys have any questions, please leave comments down below. And thank you, Mathew, for being here, giving us the insights of how these tournaments work, everything, the gaming. Appreciate that. And Luis is gonna do the social media part. Please do that, please.
Yeah, if anything, I'll post all of the social media links regarding my social media and my gaming organization's profile, and then you can check us all out there. And follow Kabartsi, K-Brothers Jewelers, their podcast. They're fun to listen to. I'm not gonna lie. I learned from listening to you guys too.
Number one fan.
Yeah, man.
Anyway, so I mean, I'll be sure to leave all the once this is posted on our YouTube channel. I'll go ahead and put all the links that he mentioned in this video. I'll go ahead and leave them down below, on top of our social media links as well, so you can find us everywhere, from Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, We recently just went through a new redesign of the website, so go ahead and go to kabartsi.com and you can go ahead and find all of our jewelry there, and follow us here as well. We're constantly posting our podcasts, new episodes every Saturday. And yeah, I mean, this has been an awesome podcast. It was good to have him here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you guys, thank you Luis, thank you Matthew again. It's always good to hear insights of things that we don't understand. Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much. Then we'll see you next time. Appreciate it.
Develop your mindset.